Hi, guys, ladies and gents. Well, as you can see, the weather is not in my favor today. So, yeah, there is no outdoor on the woods recording type of thing today. It's pretty crappy, a lot of rain. I'm sure you can hear it. So, this dream of life that we all go through. Listen, if your lives are anything remotely similar to what mine has been, I'm sure you will be able to relate to the things that I'm going to talk about now. I'm going to try to be short and to the point on this one so I don't drag it for longer than necessary. I know life sometimes feels like this endless fight or battle in a lot of ways. It may not feel like that all the time, but you will definitely feel it like it's like that sometimes. And I can relate. I know what that feels like. Because every time you either win or lose a battle, it feels like you have to start all over again. Every time you finally decide to move on or walk away, let go, all of these things that at some point sort of become a necessity for your own well-being, for the sanity of your psyche. Every time these things happen and you have to move on and walk away, and trust me, it happens a lot when you're doing what's right for you. You will carry the weight of those decisions. From walking away, from moving on. You can feel it. Believe me. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. There are times when we feel down. That it's actually okay to feel that way. Because you know what? No one has this capability of always being in the highs of their lives. Always feeling that high vibe and maintaining that. Maybe there's a reason for this rain right now. It kind of fits the topic, doesn't it? Because our life operates very similar to the weather itself and the seasons. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is a constant. We're going to have good days where the sun is out and it feels great. And then we're going to have days like this, right? Life works exactly the same way as weather patterns. And you could also compare it to the way that a river flows. So what we have to do is we have to allow it for it to take its natural course. Because ignoring things won't make them go away. That's why it's extremely important for us as human beings to not ignore the way that we feel about things, or the way that things, occurrences, and things that happen in our lives have made us feel about. Feeling these things, these emotions that surface due to certain specific triggers and aspects of ourselves, things that we go through in our lives, experiences that we have lived, this is all valid because there is a reason for these things to happen the way they happen. We often forget to sometimes take a good look at ourselves in the mirror, straight up. Look into your own eyes. Remember ourselves of who we truly are. Think about it for a minute. You know how many battles you had to fight and win or lose to be where you are today. Every time there's some sort of setback, it's an opportunity for a new beginning, a new avenue, a new pathway opens up, new doors. So when we look at it from that aspect, it makes it a lot more bearable in a way, right? One thing is for certain though, as long as we keep considering ourselves a victim of the circumstances, things will not feel better, get better, or improve in any way. Now, that's not to say that, sometimes we will have our low moments, those moments where we feel the doubt, we get anxious about things. Because we gotta face our fears, our insecurities, perhaps our lack of self-worth that a lot of people have. We all go through this. It's life. It's part of life. There's nothing wrong with that. But as long as you keep showing up for yourself every day, knowing that you are in good hands, that everything is going to be fine, allowing life to take its course without resistance and without forcing anything. Because there are energies and forces at play that we quite don't understand sometimes, or even are aware of their presence or existence. That doesn't mean that that's not real. For every single one of us out here that may be going through some sort of struggle right now, there's a lot of people. Know that there's a lot of people out there that are cheering for you, whether they belong to this reality or not, because there are many layers and realms that make the entirety of this reality that we live in. Never ever give up on your own, on yourself. As long as you trust the flow of this process and you believe in yourself, things will self-correct eventually. There's always a lot of trial and error in the process of us living life, right? And we have to be okay with the fact that it's a natural thing. There's nothing wrong with trial and error. There is nothing wrong with being mistaken about things sometimes. We just have to accept and understand that sometimes things may not work out the way we thought it would in a certain way about certain things. And then it's a matter of figuring it out how it's going to work out if maybe we approach things in a different way, from a different point of view, different perspective, different mindset. As long as we're okay with that, we're going to be fine one way or another. A lot of people out there, sometimes they had to approach things from many different ways and try different things to achieve whatever final goal or end they wanted to achieve. And the reason why they got there is because they didn't give up. They understood that it was a matter of figuring out how to go best about it, how to do it in the way that would work better for themselves. But don't stop trying, don't give up. Because that's so easy to do. And that's what most people do. They don't even put enough of an effort sometimes. They just give up. They try it here and there a few times and then they're like, oh, this isn't for me. Not gonna work. I wasn't made for this. I wasn't born for this. And this is where most people are mistaken, almost most of the time. Yeah, I understand there are those external factors, the external factors and the things that we can't control, right? I even talk about these all the time. But you also have to understand that we have to be able to have this adaptability way of going on about things. Using the water example again, look at the water and how water adapts. When you pour water into a container, it becomes the shape of that container. That's how water works. When it's flowing on a body of water, it will find a way to continue its flow. And then you have to remember that we are made of that stuff. Most of our chemical composition, our vessel, our body is made of that water. We're like almost 75% made of that stuff. So you're gonna sit here and tell me that we don't have that same capability of adapting and finding our own way the same way that the water does? Yes, we do. We definitely do. This world needs you guys now more than it has ever have. And don't let anyone tell you that you don't matter, you're not relevant, or any of these things that most people usually think about themselves. You matter more than you will ever know. There's at least one person out there that thinks the very best about you that you're probably not even aware of. That alone is reason for you to know that you matter. To someone out there, you matter. And the world needs that. There's a lot of healing needed right now at this very moment. The world needs your wisdom, your experience, your love, your understanding, your strength, your courage, more than it has ever needed it before. And this is the only way that things are going to change for the better. Not only for you, not only for those around you, but for the whole thing to change. And that is all I have to say today, my friends. So, if you like the content, don't forget to click the like button, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you all on the next one. Take care. Be safe. Until next time.